All right, welcome to Wednesday, April 6th. Sure good to see you today. As you see, a slightly different setting for today. Maybe I'll work on something else. I don't know. Maybe I'll be in a different part of the house tomorrow. Who knows? But today's reading will be 1 Samuel, chapters 5 through 8. And let's go ahead and hit them running, shall we? All right, chapter 5, the Civil War is now over. Where hot heads probably prevailed before, now cooler heads prevail. It's just I was reading today a little bit about our own Civil War in this country, how it to be, and it could have been just hotheads and hothead protest and all that. You know, men like Lee, Grant, Lincoln were thrust into a situation not of their choosing, just as David was here. You know, very unnecessary wars. We could have, just like Israel, could have just united under David. We could have just did what we were supposed to do instead of fighting. So this civil war is 7 years, and David is now the king of a united Israel. Notice that Israel has more of a decentralized government than I think we realize. The elders of each tribe came and made him king. So the elders of each tribe still had some sort of say. And so now David takes Jerusalem. Jerusalem becomes the city of David. Verse 8, when it talks about the gutters, part of the reason that David wanted Jerusalem, of course he was a big fan of Jerusalem, as we find all throughout the scriptures, is that it was easily defended. So, but as far as that part with the other people, I know what it doesn't mean. I don't necessarily know what it means. And then you find there at the end of the chapter an interesting part of that genealogy. Joseph is of the lineage of Solomon. Mary is of the lineage of Nathan. Both of the lineage of David. And then you read the stuff from the Philistines. Man, the Philistines should have just stayed home. Chapter 6 shows that God holds people at different levels of accountability based on the light that they've been shown. The Philistines put the ark on a cart. People died because it was the ark, but do you think that somebody probably touched it? See, it wasn't supposed to be on a cart at all. The Israelites knew this. David knew it. And so when they put it on a cart and then somebody tried to stop it from rocking, then God kills Uzziah. But it should have been carried by the Levites, not on a cart. And somebody died because directions weren't followed. God holds us to a higher standard the more we know. And then the ark is put into the home of Obededum. Remember that name, that's going to come up later, and an important lesson. And here we see that David, danced before the Lord. Now, our church has never really talked to, Baptists get a bad rap, for being against dance. I don't think that many of them are as much against dance, as much against, what music's going with it, what, is it, what kind of dancing. I don't know. There's a good joke I can tell you right now, but I'm not sure who watches this. But David, wasn't out there twerking and grinding and all this stuff. He was dancing excitement before the Lord. And if you can do that, then that's great on you. I couldn't. But then Michal, here we finally see her true colors. We finally see what Saul was talking about so many years back, saying that, hey, she's going to drive David mad. Chapter 7, is kind of I love this chapter. Pretty awe-inspiring. David says, hey, I want to build you a house. And then God looks back at him through Nathan and says, you know what? Your father didn't even think enough of you to bring you out before Samuel. You were out there with the sheep. I raised you up. I'm the one that did this. And he says, by the way, I'm going to bless your seed after you. They're going to reign on your throne forever. Imagine being a king and being told that. Verse 18, David starts to get it. Who in the world am I? And his humility before the Lord, I think, is part of the reason that he's called a man after God's own heart. Then chapter 8, we find some of his conquests and the further consolidation of Israel. And there we just find out that David is one bad dude. Probably somebody none of us wants to mess with. I'm not sure if this is going to look this way tomorrow. Looks kind of weird to me, but we'll see. Of course, I don't have the dogs behind me to entertain you anymore. And so, sorry about that. All right. Hope you have a good day, and looking forward to seeing a Bible study tonight. Catch you later.